Wednesday, everyone. I'm Ed Lazar of Essential Team Advisors, and in my conversation today is with my good friend, Deontay Nicholas, who recently, congratulations, received his MBA in sports management. There was a pool going as to how quickly he would get this. He was among his football team members and myself, but he didn't know about that.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
you know, behind the scenes, you never know what's going on. See, your leadership. You know, people are going to talk about you behind your back.
All right, absolutely.
So what we want to talk about today is stress management. I know this is often talked about in the media, and you have to manage your stress, manage your stress, manage your stress.
Absolutely.
But sometimes you can't say it enough. I had an experience this week, and I just had to share this with you. My experience this week was really with some self-help that was provided by a company that I represent. And I was like, yeah, okay, more stress management. I get it. I know how important, and I really do know how important stress is. It'll kill you. It really will kill you.
Absolutely.
In many other, in a lot of different forms, it is the number one killer other than the obvious today.
It induces other things, yes. But yeah, obviously right now we're going through some crazy times, but stress is still a killer in less words.
Absolutely. It gets in the way of everything. Worry and stress just get in the way of everything. So we wanted to pass on a great resource to you that we have permission to send to you if you would like a copy of the whole presentation. It was put out by the Kennedy Forum, and that's the kennedyforum.org, and it's supporting you during COVID-19, strategies to help manage stress, improve self-care, and reduce isolation. So I'll make time for this, and you know, in the preparation for the presentation, as I had two other screens going and my phone going and everything else, and kind of this running in the background, the presenter said, okay, if you're going to do this, you're going to do this. I want you to place yourself on mute. We don't want to hear from you. We just want you to listen. Mm-hmm. Want you to take the space and time during the call for yourself. This is a safe and secure space. Keep an open mind about varying perspectives and be present.
Last part. Say that one more time. Be present.
Be present. Be in the moment. Not all over the place out here like we're often called to do, but right here and now. And so I said, okay, all right, very good. You know, I'll do that. I'll follow the instructions. I might as well. I'm here. I muted the phone. I minimized all the other screens, and I focused on the presentation. Mm-hmm. And when the presenter started talking about the Kennedy Forum and stress management and where this came from, and where it came from, by the way, the Kennedy Forum was started by Joseph Kennedy of the famous Kennedy family, who was in Congress at the time, left Congress to treat his own addiction. Knew that he couldn't do the job and knew he had to do something about it. It was time for his plan B, right? Everything else was falling apart. All the money, all the prestige, the name, the whole 9 yards. Absolutely. He knew that it couldn't go on. He left Congress. He treated his addiction. He created the Kennedy Forum, and now has obviously impacted thousands of lives since then. Well, again, we have permission to send this to anybody who would like it. But when the presenter got into the presentation and started talking about shutting everything else out and started talking about the signs of stress, my heart rate about doubled.
Wow.
I could feel the absolute stress that I didn't even realize was in me, was having such an effect on me at the time.
And being present allowed it to surface.
It did.
Because we usually have so many distractions going on that our stress can kind of be subsided or delayed. But if you're actually present, then things come to your awareness that you need to, actually work on and act on.
So whether you're aware of it or not, it's back there working on you.
Right.
And my heart rate went up. I could feel tears coming to my eyes.
Wow.
There was something going on. Now, having been in counseling before, having a great psychotherapist, counselor, call them what you like, I believe that kind of therapy is just like training. having your mind in good shape, your heart in good shape is no different than having your body in good shape. And we'll talk later about strategies for stress management and taking care of your brain, this actually what's inside the bucket here, just like you would for your body. But I actually felt those things, and okay, something's going on here. Then I really engaged in the process. Then I listened to the rest of the presentation, and it made a huge difference for me. Even though I've heard all this stuff before, because I was engaged, because I recognized the stress in my life, all these do's and don'ts and avoid and do and signs, all of it made a difference. You know how you can hear something? We've talked about this before. You hear the same thing
over and over again, but if you're actually engaged and you're present, and based on all your experiences in life up to that point, because I know I came in and talked to you later that day, and you were like, I could feel you were stressed or kind of tired, and I was like,
that's right,
he needed that. You needed that. So it was like you had all these moments come up to that point, and to hear it one more time was like your tipping point, pretty much.
That was it exactly. That was it exactly. So today's focus is going to be on sharing the highlights of this presentation with you and us talking about it, so that, and it is Whiteboard Wednesday, and I love my whiteboard, so that you can limit your stress to be your best. And we'll get to the do's and don'ts along the way here. We'll get to them pretty quickly, but I wanted to share, and let's talk about, because I've felt these things since then, and been more aware of them since I was more acutely aware of them since I saw this list. And the signs of stress that the presentation talks about is an increase or decrease in your energy and activity levels, an increase in alcohol, tobacco, or drug use, an increase in irritability or anger. Crusty old guy to start with, so that's all I need is a little stress, and nobody wants to be around me. Having trouble relaxing or sleeping. Again, crusty old guy, sleeping.
I'll join you with that one.
Stress. Do you sleep? Do you not sleep well?
Just not having the ability to unwind. I feel like I'm always trying to do something, trying to do and get forward in something. But it's like, when do you relax? When do you unwind? It's like you don't got to recharge the battery. So I'll join you on that one.
Yeah, and you said a minute ago that being home just drives you nuts.
Yeah.
So that pent up business is just got to be wearing on you. Just as it's probably wearing on all of us. Crying frequently, not frequently, but when I least expect it. Well, unless I'm watching a cartoon or something, some of these animated movies can make me cry. How silly is that? Worrying excessively. I am telling you, worst case scenario is the first thing that comes to mind. Wanting to be alone most of the time. Having difficulty with communicating or listening. Wait, I'm the boss. Everybody should just listen to me. I should just talk. Having difficulty giving or accepting help.
Now that one, I'll join you in that one as well too. Just wanting to do things on your own. I'm by myself at home a lot now, so it's like I can do it on my own. I'm doing it by myself. It's like, at what point do you say, hey, tag me in, I need some help here, Like that point is, it's transparent sometimes, but it should be very bold and aware when you say, I need some help, to go to the people that will help you.
That's right. That's right. And last is, one of the signs is inability to feel pleasure or have fun. You're just not fun anymore. Well, there's no fun to be had right now. This is a pandemic, and the economy's caving in, and we're not allowed to smile. We're not allowed to laugh. We're not allowed to have fun. Yet, what we really want to do is continue to paint our windows with all the positive expressions and say thank you. And we're going to see one of the important to-dos that I think, it's one of the key to-dos that I think that'll help lift us out of this. And that is to feel pleasure and have fun and keep our spirits up. And that's important anyway. We want to keep our sights elevated. We talked about this in the last one, in the last recording. If we have our eyes ahead and our sights elevated on the next horizon, on the next finish line, on accomplishing the next goal, we more readily accept what we have to do today. It doesn't seem like such a big job, and we know the why behind it. Why? Because of that.
Right. The vision.
Because it's the right thing. Right. Because we're fulfilling the vision. We're working toward the vision that's most important. It's hard to have a positive vision today. Absolutely hard to. What if we all die? We
put it out there. Let's be frank about it, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be worth it if you were going towards a vision versus just sitting there complaining about what was going on? Not saying we are complaining about what's going on, but the difference of having a vision pull you every single day than sitting around looking at the environment for what it is right now.
Whether we die at some point in the future or not, because ultimately that's going to happen anyway, we still have things to do today. We still have good that we can accomplish. We still have folks that we can help. We still have family to take care of. And we need to be taken care of so that we can continue the work. Strategies for stress management. Understand that stress and anxiety are natural human responses. We all have these stresses. We all respond to them in different ways, like seeing some of those signs. But one of our other team members said, boy, that was really important to me. I've been dealing with it a long time myself, and I thought I've done most of these things. It was just good to know, good to be reinforced that this is a natural thing that's going on. Recognize signs to help identify stress. We talked about some of those. Share your feelings with someone you trust. Mm-hmm. We trust each other. We've talked about a lot of personal things. We have others, and you know who you can trust and who you can't. It's one of those not thinking things, but knowing things.
Yeah, just internally,
there's
just having
a difference.
That energy when you talk to somebody. Are you actually listening to what I'm saying, or are you just waiting to respond and tell me what to do? Because there's a difference, right? There's people that we think are helping us, but if they're just sitting back waiting to jump on you and tell you what you need to do, then you may have to readjust or maybe recalibrate who you talk to. Not necessarily stop talking to that person forever, but just think, who's a more open listening ear that you can trust.
And it's a shifting away, also a shifting away from self a little bit. There's that give and take that just comes back. Mm-hmm. Release your thoughts. You can get so stuck in your own mind that if you just release it, just let it go for a minute, there's a lot of weight that's lifted. Doesn't mean you're going to throw it away or that you're ignoring the realities of what's going on. It just means you're going to take a breath, release it for a minute, come back to it when you're a little stronger. Know when to ask for help. Oh my goodness. We wait too long, I think, especially guys. Mm. And as women are becoming stronger in the workplace, they're taking on a lot of the roles and personality traits that men are that were not so good to start with. So careful, ladies. Be who you are. You're wonderful the way you are. Do it the way ladies would do it. Don't take on this macho thing. I have to stand on my own 2 feet and be strong and be perfect and all that stuff. That'll kill you. That's absolute stress. And ask for help when you need to. Most definitely. So, so far so good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're rolling.
Okay. So let's talk about the things to do and the things to avoid. And this is kind of this is a Coach Ed Lazar special. I like to start with do this first, because I've had this, whatever you do, don't do this. That blew up on me from in a coaching moment one time, and I resolved never to do that first. You have to tell your business associates, your mentees, your athletes, you have to pretty much outline what not to do, but not before you tell them what to do. Mm-hmm. Our minds operate from the positive. Our subconscious, the subconscious's answer to everything is yes, mm-hmm. and to go in that direction. So careful what you feed it. Right. So let's feed it the positive and good things first. So Whiteboard Wednesday, love my whiteboard. Mm-hmm. The things to do, keep things in perspective. So, all right, I get it. Pandemic. The whole country is doing this. The death toll is incredible. Am I next? Maybe. But, all right, keep things in perspective. I'm social distancing. I'm wearing a mask at the grocery store. I don't even go that much anymore and go only when I need to. We keep distance between us. We are careful about what we do outside, but we're keeping it in perspective. I'm not wearing a mask 24/7. That's not the point. We need to pay attention to what the experts are telling us to do. So perspective. It could be worse, but it's not right here, and I'm doing what I need to do. So I'm going to take solace in that. Take breaks from watching, reading, or listening to news stories, including social media.
This is a big one, everybody.
Holy cats.
If you haven't listened to anything we've been saying yet, this is what you need to hear right now.
Oh my gosh. Social media is just blowing up with every expert that's not an expert and everybody who feels like they have to say something. Shut up. Oh my gosh. If you can't say something positive, shut your trap. I mean, I'm talking to me too, because here I am expounding, but I think it's good. But you need to take a break from it. The steady flow, the steady intake of 24/7, and I have all the respect in the world for Lester Holt, and that is a fantastic news story, and I love the way they finish with something positive at the end of every broadcast.
Absolutely.
There's balance there. And they take everybody to task. They want to fact check. They want to do all that. But you still even need a break from Lester. Lester, love you. All props to you. But even you take a break from you, I would think. Consume and share validated, accurate information, not rumors. Oh, I heard the other day. From who? Okay? Don't circulate rumors. Connect with others. Talk with people you trust, like we mentioned, about your concerns and how you are feeling. This, I think, in coming from the mom and dad that I came from, this is probably the biggest thing that helps me. Practice compassion and empathy. So if I shift away from, oh, woe is me for a minute, and the cares of the day that I have, and refocus on what I can do to help Deontay today, what I can do to help my Aunt Irene, who is 94, tough as nails, but not always. So how can I be there for her? Mm-hmm. What can I do for others? Not completely selflessly, but shifting the concern. And as soon as I do that, truly being compassionate, so that means whether somebody deserves it or not, and being empathetic, whether I think they deserve it or not, but understanding. As soon as I do that, there's a weight lifted. Then my own lot doesn't seem so dire. Mm-hmm. And so I've done something for myself, and I've done something for somebody else.
Right, and then just to put it in the more simple terms, stand in another person's shoes. View it from their perspective. It's one of the hardest things even I struggle with, empathizing, with just going to that person's shoes and looking at it from their perspective, right? Like, oh, you hear about somebody's grandmother or friend may have passed away. Oh, you don't know them, but put yourself in their shoes. Understand if that was you and you faced that situation during this pandemic. And then it just changes, like you said. You literally have this shift of like, wow, whatever I was just complaining about, whatever was just going on in my life is not as bad as this person's. And it's nothing to compare, but it's just putting yourself in that shoes will allow you to, get back to whatever your problem was with a different attitude, a different perspective, going back to the first thing we talked about.
Absolutely. And let's keep in mind there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. Mm-hmm. Empathy is understanding and standing with somebody as opposed to, oh, you poor thing. Mm-hmm. People might want to hear that, but it's not it doesn't provide them with the strength. It doesn't provide them with the solace. It doesn't provide them, as I'll say, strength again, that they might not have that you have for them. Empathy does. You're standing with them. Mm-hmm. You can't fix it. You don't pretend to fix it, but you're standing with somebody because you understand. And if you truly don't say that you do. Try to understand. Try to get into their shoes.
Right.
Try to walk that mile in their moccasins, as the Native Americans would say. So compassion and empathy, massive, absolutely massive. And on a national scale, I think that's what we're missing today. And that comes right from the top. Leadership is not telling us to be compassionate and empathetic. The divide is getting bigger. Compassion and empathy will bring the divide, will make the divide smaller.
Absolutely.
We're people. There are always going to be divides. Mm-hmm. So what about some things to avoid? Back to the whiteboard. Catastrophizing. Oh, let's just all, end it right now. No, let's not. Imagining the worst possible outcome. Could it be worse than it is? Absolutely. Is it going to? But it's actually getting better. It is actually getting better. Remember, as much as I love you, Lester, the media sells advertising space, and hard headlines sell media space. It gets our attention. We have to know. Mind reading and fortune telling. Imagining what others are thinking and imagining what the future holds, but without data. Got to hand it to the Governor Whitmer of Michigan. We are going forward with data. Agree or disagree with but at least she's using the data. It's very clear. We have to have the data. We also have to have the wisdom, because data is only going to get you so far. Mm-hmm. Again, love being a crusty old guy. Been beat up a few times, learned a few things. Love the word wisdom. I almost feel a little hesitant to use that word. I hate to call myself wise, but at the same time, I'll stand in that wisdom, stand with that wisdom, because it was hard won. I can share with you. I can share with my athletes. I can share with the coaches that I mentor what I've learned often the hard way, and what I beg them to learn not the hard way. Wait, don't do it the way I did. Do it this way. So the data, and from here, with what you know works, that inner wisdom that you accumulate over the years and that you're blessed with from being compassionate and empathetic.
And that fortune telling, just want to add something to that.
Please.
Predicting the future without data is going to give you anxiety. Trust me, it's a direct correlation.
That's what this is all about, right?
This is all about reducing that anxiety. So what we're saying is, don't fortune tell, because you're going to get yourself down this rabbit hole of this happened, or this may happen, or this may happen. Oh, this person said this was going to happen. And then we all know how fast the brain works. It works very fast. So you can find yourself 10 years in the future of what the world will look like. So the fortune telling it's directly correlated to anxiety. So if you ever struggle with that, this is what we're trying to help you with, as far as to reduce that, stress and anxiety as well.
Thank you for bringing us back on topic.
Gotcha.
Black and white thinking and overgeneralizing, considering only two possible outcomes on the right. It's either going to be this or it's going to be that. Well, no, we know that already. Overgeneralizing, painting all situations with a generalized outcome. No matter what we do, this is what's going to happen. Oh my gosh, that circles right back around to catastrophizing. Mm-hmm. Overgeneralizing and catastrophizing, no matter what we do, it's going to be the worst outcome. Well, yeah, okay, we're all going to die one day. I get that. There's history, there's data to prove that.
Right.
But we're not going to hasten it, and we're not going to over worry about it, and we're going to be cautious about it. So those are the two do's and the things to avoid.
Absolutely.
So wrap it up for us. What do you think?
All right. So that was another episode of Whiteboard Wednesday. As I've come to start doing these, and the idea sparked about a month or two ago when we started doing it, I was excited. And my joy, my excitement to do these is still up there. And I just, there's so many different things that we talk about on these that make another idea in the future possible as well. As you're talking, I'm thinking of what's the next Whiteboard Wednesday, So this has momentum, and I'm fortunate to be able to sit here with you and discuss this. And like you said, whoever listens to it, hope you take something away. Hope you're writing down with notes, and because you forget about 80% of the things you hear. So if you're writing stuff down, you can take it to task or remember it and refer to it later. But it's been another great episode. So
good, thank you.
Absolutely.
Just a quick reminder again, we have permission from the author and from the source that I got this from to get this to you. I don't think it's available on their website. So go to our website, www.essentialteamadvisors.com, advisors with an ORS. Contact us, send me the Kennedy form thing, whatever. Just contact us. We'll know it's you, and we'll get this right out to you. Again, permission we have. How good of Joseph Kennedy to be in the moment and to know that bottom had come up and he wasn't going to be any better without making something different. So he managed his stress and now is helping us manage our stress. So send us a line. Happy to send this to you. May you have a stress-free week, and we'll see you next Wednesday. What do you say, right?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right.
Keep moving forward.
We're out.